Elon gives more clarity to store closures. Robin Denholm backs Elon's Twitter usage. Full self-driving has some hidden tricks up its sleeve. And Model 3 is crushing it in Europe already. This is Tesla Tidbits episode number 509 for March 29th, 2019. This show is sponsored by my supporter Richard. If you're in the market for a Model S, X, or 3, please consider using his referral code. Ask your salesperson to use code Richard174 or go direct to the web link ts.la/Richard174 and pick up a 1,000-mile supercharging credit for your new vehicle. We kick things off with a story from CNBC where they've nabbed an email from Elon to employees regarding store closures. As I've previously covered, Tesla pretty well botched the messaging to employees related to this, and Elon is taking time to clarify what's going on for sales staff. While this has been a class in how not to handle the delivery of bad news, at least this will clarify how decisions are going to be made, even though those affected will still mostly have no idea if they'll continue to be employed and for how long. Paraphrasing here, stores with a high traffic rate that lead to significant sales will be safe except in, quote, rare cases where the rent is absurdly high, end quote. Elon also notes in the next breath that Tesla will continue to open stores that are in such high traffic areas. Stores with little traffic, or as Elon puts it, quote, empty most of their opening hours, end quote, will be closed. The remainder, which will be the majority of stores, I assume, will be scrutinized for their value. Quote, stores that are somewhere in the middle will be evaluated over time to see if there is some way to allow them to cover their costs. If there is, they will remain open, otherwise not. However, these stores will be given a fair opportunity to prove their case, end quote. The same goes for individual staff as well. Quote, the above principles also apply to the sales team. No one who is a major contributor to demand generation will be let go. That would make no sense. However, sometimes in a company with 45,000 people, things happen that make no sense. I will do my best to remedy issues when brought to my attention directly or through a redacted email address, end quote. Elon goes on to say that the announcement that all sales would be online actually meant that the act of the purchase would be electronic rather than signing a pile of paperwork. While this has been a known goal for some time, it's certainly not the way the announcement came off. This really does feel like a retcon, which is disappointing because at this point for me personally, just own that you plan to close a bunch of stores and things didn't go as planned for whatever reason. Regardless, the criteria have been made clear. Good luck to stores and sales staff. We hope to see you all around for some time to come. We move to Teslarati for our next story, where the chair of Tesla's board, Robin Denholm, has publicly spoken out and supported Elon's use of Twitter. Her first statement said, quote, Twitter is part of everyday business for many executives today. From my perspective, he uses it wisely, end quote. But she wasn't done there, adding later, quote, we believe we've done everything that we need to do under the settlement, but obviously it's going to the court and it will go from there. I don't think he poses any challenges. The company is running very well, and the board itself is very engaged. We meet with him all the time, end quote. Strong words from probably the most important person in the company not named Elon Musk, and glad to see, at least publicly, that everybody is on the same page. As I've said prior regarding this latest SEC mess, the best case scenario is that the judge laughs this out of her court and we get to move on with business as usual. But given this is America and common sense loses on a daily basis, this may be a lot to hope for. We move over to a couple of YouTube videos brought to my attention thanks to the Tesla Show's Twitter account. The first is noted Tesla tinkerer Very Green showing off his car properly stopping for traffic signals and displaying the appropriate binnacle indicators that it not only has detected a signal, but what state the car believes it to be in. The feature is far from perfect, which is why he had to hack the car to be able to use it, but it shows great promise as it works as intended quite often. But as we all know, especially as it relates to self-driving, quite often is not even close to acceptable, especially for a feature that will send you barreling through an intersection unexpectedly if it's not working properly. Another video, this time from the Urban Tinkerer on YouTube, shows the same feature at night for stop signs. This one is not nearly as polished, as they note that not only does it stop late when it does work, but it flat out blew through another one. Granted, this is at night, so the difficulty level is significantly higher, but again, this has to work at all times to be useful in real life. Both cars are using firmware 2019.8.3, the latest generally available release. Very nice to get a taste of the future thanks to our hacker friends tinkering with their cars. We send you into the weekend with news from Motor1.com that shows the Model 3 dominating Europe in its first full month available on the continent. In February, Tesla delivered 3,657 Model 3s in Europe. While, as usual, the Model 3 crushed all other EV competition, it also outsold the Mercedes C-Class, BMW 3 Series, and the Audi A4 on their home turf. Felipe Munoz, an analyst for Jado Dynamics, which is an automotive market research firm located in London, said of the feat that this type of demand doesn't normally appear, quote, until 4 or 5 months after a new car has hit the roads, end quote. We already know that February was literally just the beginning for Tesla spinning up its logistics chain to reach overseas. I think March will be a much more interesting month to see the results for, as I suspect maybe even double that number may reach owner hands. That's it for today's show. As usual, a word about Foam Daddy will take us home. Foam Daddy is a nationwide company in the U.S. that sells and rents foam and snow machines. They're also proud to announce the arrival of the Real Snow Machine. This allows anyone to produce real snow in any temperature. Check them out at foamdaddy.com. Thanks very much to our newest patrons supporting the show at patreon.com/Tesla Tidbits, William J.R. Fickus. He joins super patrons Drew Schuyler, John Waller, Ryan Scarborough, Lee Sweet, William Henry Crew III, Dorian Steve Guberman, Bruno Condici, Joey Boots, Ralph and Cheryl Waterhouse, Adam Raymer Brown, Megawatt Photovoltaic Development, Todd Sullivan, Robert Healy, Mitch Long, Zortec LED Canada, Morven Ogg, Blake Thompson, Raymond and Deborah Malkowitz, T Sportline, Michael Pastroni, Travis and Cheyenne Rush, Cookie UK, Chris Hovis, Craig Murphy, Vicky Kirk, Ricky Johnston, Bien Concepcion, and Nathan Garza. If you have feedback for me, the best way to be heard is to tweet at Tesla Tidbits and use the hashtag AskTeslaTidbits if you'd like your question to be considered for the show. I'll see everyone back here again next week. Until then, keep it charged and hit the road.